Seeing the images of those 13 service members coming home broke my heart. I'm sure many of you felt the pain of the grieving families watching TV as well. Many of you relived the loss of your own son and daughter. I thought about my own service. I've served 17 years in a combat career field and survived 6 deployments. I've been in over 124 documented firefights, called in hundreds of thousands of pounds of munitions on the enemies of our country. I've seen my fair share of men and women die in combat. I've also counseled and intervened in countless suicide attempts of those who survived combat, yet brought their wars home with them. I haven't been successful every time, and I haven't told too many people this, but one time I failed at one of my interventions. A friend of mine had called me one Thanksgiving completely out of it, and no matter what I did or said, everything that I was trained on or knew or what my gut told me to do, he wasn't responding to, and he ended up killing himself while he was on the phone with me. Like I said, that was Thanksgiving about 4 years ago. I bring this up because although we mourn the deaths of those who died, please remember this. They did so doing what they wanted to do. It is the ultimate honor to serve one's nation, wearing the uniform with pride. Families, communities all over the United States feel that pride. They share in that pride when one of their own volunteers to serve. We who volunteer know exactly what we're getting ourselves into. The work is about as real as it gets, and who knows why some die and others live. It's in the cards, as we say. But what I do know is this, and I have had this kind of a talk with teammates and others, when we were knee deep in combat and the fog of war is all around you. We've had these conversations, And all those conversations have brought me to a single conclusion. For those of us willing and able and volunteer to lay down our lives for others, it had better be worth it. Now, what does that mean? For me, it means a united country. For me, it means less nonsense, more reason, and more cooperation here at home. I would go back to war in a second. And if I die, then I die. But at least I died doing what I wanted to do. I was part of something greater than myself. And I'm willing to do that for total strangers in my country and defend total strangers thousands of miles away in their countries. Because I can. I've always felt like I can. And I have. It's a calling. It called me, and I went, and now I'm home. But it has to be worth it. For families, it'll never be worth it. Gold Star families are our families. The parents of the fallen are our parents. I always call Gold Star mom's mom. I do so as, to me, and them, it's the ultimate sign of respect. We're a very unique nation. We're a nation built of hundreds of other nations. But here, we fall under one banner, one flag. We have our own values and traditions set forth by our ancestors. It's up to us to build on those traditions and make things better here for the future. I would give my life for that any day of the week because it would have been worth it. But I didn't die. I'm still here for some damn reason. And I absolutely believe that reason is to remind others of sacrifices that my friends have made, that these recent 13 have made, that my friends, the Conovers, have made, and so many others for so many generations. I believe I'm still here to keep hounding everyone to stop freaking attacking each other. Stop over the most trivial and petty things, too. It makes me nuts. Why? We attack each other over who we voted for. Who cares? We have to stop attacking our presidents, too. I'm going to get shit about this, but listen, stop attacking our presidents, at least like in public and all over the airwaves and the internet. It makes us look like complete jackasses. Other countries look at us like we're jackasses. Big time. It isn't Joe Biden who embarrassed America on the global stage. It's us. Our leaders are a direct reflection of us. We need to take responsibility for that. Like it or not, it's true. You disagree with them? Fine, whatever. I get it. Maybe keep 10 of your comments you want to say bashing them, and maybe you'll let only 2 or 3 out. That's a start at least, Oh, and the fucking rebirth and rebranding of racism. There hasn't been racism in this country in a half century or more. Not in general. We've seen pockets of it in individual cases, but there hasn't been any racism. And if that happens, it is the responsibility of everyone, you, me, everyone, to crush it right where it's at. So seriously, let's stop with the racism. It's done. Over. No more. Does not exist at all anymore. We triumphed, okay? It is literally that simple. Let's not hear that word anymore unless it's in a history class. All right, what else? What else makes it worth it? Oh, equality. Guess what? In the United States, all Americans are equal. I believe that goes back a couple hundred years or so. Okay, there, we're equal. What's next? Gender stuff. Listen, identify as who or whatever your little heart desires, but don't think you can demand respect and demand that I change my views on things. Pronouns, all that, whatever, fine. Just correct on the spot and be done with it. And press on with your day. If someone doesn't want to play along, don't get your panties in a bunch, no pun intended, and go on some campaign to destroy them. Just as you have the right to be who you want to be, I have the right to or not to acknowledge that. You can't force anyone to do anything. We need to change the narrative, everyone. We need to start getting into these online heated back and forth discussions or Facebook fighting. We should ask, if we're going to be getting down with somebody like that, we should ask for the person's phone number. Go meet them face to face. Get a group of people together, people that totally disagree and hash it out. Honestly, that is how most of my friendships were forged. They were once my enemy. We either talked it out or we knocked each other out. Actually, some of the best friends that I had, lifelong friends, are ones that I went a few rounds with in the streets. But that's how. That's how we get stronger. That's how our communities get better. Strong debate in person. Take time. Put some skin in the game. All right, what am I saying here? I'm saying it's up to every single one of us to make all the sacrifices that our service members made worth it. How do we do that? By taking responsibility and being better people, by being a better person. If each of us did that individually and worked on some broken part of your broken self, the collective would be fine. It would work itself out. Earlier I mentioned veteran suicide. Has anyone ever wondered why there's so many veteran suicides, or why we hear about veteran suicides? The answer is actually very clear. Look at the state of our country. Riots, looting, one political party accuses the other of treason all the time, every day, all day long. Look at the division, vitriol. I'll tell you this, no platoon, no unit, flight in the military could survive with so much infighting. They'd be combat ineffective. We as a nation are combat ineffective. Vets, they come home and see a total madhouse here. Everything's a crisis. Everyone at each other's throats. Veterans don't commit suicide over what they did or what they've seen in war. That's Hollywood. They kill themselves out of shame. They commit suicide because of shame. We cause that shame. We make them feel as though their sacrifices in service wasn't worth it. I said earlier, I wasn't sure why I'm still around, why I survived so many times when I could have been dead or I should have been dead. Maybe it's to constantly throw myself out here like I'm doing now, make myself look stupid, say stupid things. Or maybe it's to say inspiring things, and maybe it's to unite people. Maybe it's to remind everybody of who we are. I don't know. I'd say a little bit of both most days. But I'll never, ever stop trying. I won't stop leading by example. I can't stop. I can't stop because every single one of you is worth it.